Hello everyone, my name is Nawaz Sarwar. In today's video series, we would be discussing about the security and authentication systems in applications such as logins. Every application, almost every application in today's world has an authentication system or login system to implement the access control and prevent unauthorized access. And today we'll be developing a GUI based environment where users can be presented with a screen where they could be using it to log in into the system. So today's part includes the use of Swing framework, which is part of the standard JDK, which is supplied by the Oracle, and we'll be using it for the project. And we may advance into designing the custom UIs which are more interactive and beautiful. So I think without further ado, let's get started. We'll select the Java application and click next, and then we'll give our project a name such as a login system. You may name it anything and you may choose a desired project location. Mine is a Netbeans project under the user directory, and click finish. The project creation part will create a default class with the name of the project, and it is not going to do anything much because it is a very standard and basic code. So to implement the login system, we'll be using something, a JFrame. JFrame is a component of Swing framework which presents the UI. We may say this class have a name of login and click finish. Now that this is the canvas, you may say that you may assume it as a canvas, and let's change few configurations here. I'll right click and go to the properties. Give this window a title. Welcome to our futuristic login. I'll set the background color to white. I'll increase the size. I'll choose label. We may also change the color to, let's say, something like this. Now I'll add the label for the input field of the username. I'll type it as username, and then I'll add a text field here. I think I have double clicked it and it has just created an event handler. I don't need it, so I will be removing this thing. So to remove a default created handler, which is just created by the Netbeans when you double click it on an input field. So to do that, I'll go to the properties, and then on the events tab you can click this segment and delete it and press enter, and you'll get nothing as none, and the event has been removed. Right click, edit text to empty this field. Let's extend it to 150 maybe, or 52. Then I'll add the password field. and then I'll add a password input field, which is this one. I'll select both the labels and choose to align to the left of the column. And then I'll select both of the input fields and bind them to have the same width. Then I'll right click and choose align left up to the column. Edit text and delete this dummy text into this field, and we'll add a button here. Can name it anything, but I'll say it as secure login. Enter. This design is not a very beautiful one, but will do the job. So let's align this to the center of this frame. Reduce the size of this from the bottom, I think. Press save. And another thing that we can do is to make this Windows centrally aligned when it is launched. So I'll go to the properties, and on the codes tab you can check this generate center. Save this once again and call this login window. Login is equals to new login, and since we have instantiated the login class, we can set it to visible, so that when the application is launched we can see that window. And when we run this, we'll see that the window is displayed. As far as the functionality is concerned, it is not going to do much, but a UI is presented. Let's implement some functionality. We'll go to this and click on the source tab. This is the code generated by the Netbeans for the UI. We'll make a public method named as login for handling our authentication system for now. And since it returns nothing, it should be void. It has to be mentioned as per the Java directive. To access the data entered into the fields, we need to give them some unique identities, and I think this option is available in change variable name. We'll name it username, and this one will be password. You guessed it right. Since this is a simple authentication system, we will be storing our username and password, against which we are going to verify directly into this method for now. Though this may not be a standard practice or may not work for a large project, but for now this is what we are going to do. Stored username equals to example. String stored password equals to password, and next we are going to compare it with the entered data. So stored username dot equals username dot get text. This is which has been entered by the user, and stored pass that equals and if this comparison of these strings of passwords and usernames is successful, we'll jump in here and display a message that our login was successful. We'll be using the J option pin to do that. Show message dialog. And if the username and password entered by the user is not the same against the stored password or username, we'll display the message that the details do not match. Login failed. User name and passwords do not match. And since we have implemented this method, it is not doing anything as of now. To attach it to the event listener, what we need to do is to either double click this button, or you can manually write this code to implement the event listener. Now that when this button is clicked, we'll call this function from here and it will authenticate. We may also add the event listener to this password input field so that when the password is entered and the user presses the enter or return key, it authenticates. So both ways, either user clicks on that button or presses the enter key in the password field, will do the magic. Now let's run this program. I'll enter the username as example and enter the password as password. I'll choose the enter key. Login is successful. I'll close this application for now and rerun it to test it with wrong credentials. Example, password is something else. Login failed. Username and password do not match. This is for now. We will be building a more beautiful UI in the next part of this video, where we'll be adding logo to the login screen, and then we'll be customizing the close operations and have a very intuitive and very good user looking UI. So stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.